Hi, welcome back to ODE YouTube channel, and today we are here for another pen review. And today's pen is a Benu, and I have to thank Benu for sending me this pen for review. So let's start looking at it. The pen comes inside this cardboard box like all Benu pens come, and it has this part in gold letters, some Cyrillic lettering there, and on the underside it says Brown Orchid and then the reference of this particular pen I have inside. The packaging is really simple. You just take this lid out, just made of cardboard. You have a cardboard, let's call it a sleeve, which has the pen inside, and it has Benu in gold. And we have a Benu product and information warranty made of paper and shredded paper as kind of protection for the pen. So one nice thing is that the packaging is nice looking if you want to keep it. If you don't want to keep it and want to just throw away, it's nothing fancy. It's nice but not fancy, so you will not be wanting really to save it forever, and you can just throw it into the recycle bin for paper and it's done. So it comes in this paper sleeve. You press it on the side and the pen comes out. It may come out in a nicer way, but that's what I can do. So the pen that we have here for today is a new collection by Benu, and this pen, this model is called Ambrosia, and it is a new collection, and if I'm not mistaken it is comprised of 5 different colors of pens, and the pens are named after flowers. So let's take a look at it. The description of the pen. It has this kind of bullet shape in both ends, so rounded. It tapers down and it's rounded, and it is thicker in the middle. That's basically this. It is almost the same size in both parts, since this middle ring, and this middle ring is made of makes some flowers there. The resin, this pen is made of resin, is very beautiful. It is made of this, I will call it cognac or amber color band with the flowers. Then it has this base of purple with some glitter, and then you have lots of fine gold glitter, and then some larger green shimmering particles. So this pen is something that you like to look at. I have to say that this pen is not for everybody. For some people this pen may be just too much, but in a way it's really interesting and really appealing, and it has the kind of Benu DNA. It's their kind of product. They like to make shiny, glittering things. So the cap comes out by unscrewing it. It takes, let's focus there on that effect there. It takes 2 and almost 3/4 of a turn to come out, and it is a screw cap, and you have a section that tapers down. It's quite of a thin section, but the step here is not big, the threads are not sharp, so you can hold it there if you want, and there is another step there, but it is rounded, so it will not hurt your fingers. So the pen uncaps like this. You have a number 5 gold-plated Schmidt nib. This one is a fine with a plastic feed. This unit can be unscrewed if you want to exchange the nib. This pen, because it is short, it takes only short international cartridges or short international converters like the Kaweco style converter. The pen is completely made of resin, so you can put ink directly inside and use it as an eyedropper pen. And I think that's one of the reasons why it takes so many turns to unscrew the section from the barrel, kind of an extra protection if you want to use it as an eyedropper. I won't do that because I don't love to do that kind of stuff. The pen is kind of short, but it's perfectly usable. It is long enough to be used like this, and if you want, you prefer to post your pens, you can post it like this, but it's not a truly secure fit, because if you go side to side, it then falls down. So I would not force it in place, but you can do it if you want, and it becomes quite large. I really prefer to use it and post it, even if it is a smaller pen that way. So these are the main features of the pen. One comment I had when I showed this pen for the first time on my channel, and I thought that might be true or not, when I got it, then I read the comment and then I had to look at the pen with some care, is that, let's take a look at here. This kind of ring on the cap that is made of these flowers, it has not a regular shape. It is like a wavy shape there. For this wavy shape, that comment on my video suggested it would break easily. And I understand, and I agreed with that in the beginning, because it has this step up there. When you would cap the pen, if you force it a little bit more, then these raised parts of these longer parts of the flower would raise over the barrel, and it would force them, instead of being like this, they would force them being like this and open more and eventually cracking. However, I found it is quite well made, because I'm not sure if I can show it to you, but if you look at the cap, there is kind of a line that goes here on the tip of the nib. I think maybe you can see it. There is kind of a line there, and that line means there is a piece of the plastic that narrows the inside diameter of the cap. Also here, there is this very small kind of step between the threads and the purple part of the barrel. So when you cap the pen, that part will stop against the beginning of the barrel, so the cap will not go further. Unlike many other pens that we see, is not the cap, not the end of the cap that stops the barrel from going in the cap. In this case, it is this part with the other part inside. So it will stay there. If you force it, it will not move more, and the flowers will not open and raise over the barrel and will not crack. So I have to say this is well thought of, because the risk of it breaking, it would be great if you could just overscrew it, but you can't, so it's well done. Now let's go for some comparisons. First of all, to compare this pen with other pens is not easy, because there are not that many glittery pens besides Benu. I know there are some Sailor, and there is this Pelican. This is the golden barrel, which has some shimmering on the resin. But to be fair in this comparison, we would need to compare the Benu Ambrosia Brown Orchid with the Benu Minima Mystical Green, or with the Benu Supreme New Year's Limited Edition, or with the Benu Hexagon F, which also has some very small glitter. And then we have the beautiful Benu Euphoria Caviar with this very beautiful glitter also. So these are the pens that have most glitter that I have in my collection, and all them are Benu. So this is the, I'm not sure if I said the name before, the Benu Ambrosia Brown Orchid. It is a beautiful color combination, in my opinion. There are others that are lighter, and there is even one that glows in the dark. Just for another comparison, let's go for the size. And the size, it is a little harder to show, but this is kind of a short pen. But here you have it compared with a Kaweco Sport, and it is longer than the Kaweco Sport. I have here the Mahjong Q1 or the Moonman Q1, and it is longer than that. And I have here the Lamy Safari. This is the dark lilac, which is longer, and also the Parker Centennial Dufold Satin Black, which is also larger. But so this is a short pen, but not that short. When we uncap the pen, and let's post Kaweco because it's meant to be posted. This Benu is not meant to be posted. This one isn't also, and this one isn't. You can see the size comparisons, and this is kind of a shorter pen, but it is not that short. And we have here the Mahjong Q1, which is the shortest of all, but it can be posted and it becomes longer. If you decide not to post any of these pens, and let's unpost the Kaweco, the Benu is longer than the Kaweco and much more girthy. However, there is not much difference in the section where you hold the pen. Now let me cap them and take them out of the way, and let's just think about the price. The Benu Ambrosia collection, each pen costs around $110 US, and you can check them at Benu's website, and I will leave a link below. And now let's just see how this pen performs on paper. So here we have the pen and paper, and now you won't see it that well, I guess, because of the exposure going nuts because of the white paper. Again, the pen is comfortable to hold, but the section is narrow. Unless you have extra big hands, the pen is not short. If you have very big hands, it may be short. This could be a little larger. I think it would be more comfortable if it had the girth of the thread section, but it's not that bad, believe me. It's, as I told you, it's like the size of the Kaweco section, but longer, so it's not bad. Now let's see how it writes, although I have it unkept for this review, so let's see if it writes well. So today we have here yes, it writes, the Benu Ambrosia Brown Orchid with a medium steel nib. The paper that I'm using is the usual Rhodia dot pad, and the ink inside is Leonardo Officina Italiana Purple. And this is quite a nice color that I would say it matches very well the purple on the pen. So the nib on this pen is made of steel and it writes really well with no skipping or any other trouble. The nib made of steel is a little bouncy, and if you want, you can take some line variation out of this pen, but it's not that big kind of line variation. It's not a flexible nib. But if you want, you can have some, as you can see here. The pen writes well with a nice ink flow, I would say. It's quite wet and it has some feedback. Not as much as the kind of sailor feedback, but it has more feedback than we have on... Let's go a little bit further on this. When we have Schmidt nibs, they usually have more feedback than the generic Bock or Jovo nib. So this is something that you will notice. These nibs are always a little bit more feedbacky, and that's what it is. But it's not scratchy, just feedbacky, and it's very good. One thing that I don't really enjoy to do is write in reverse, but you really can, and you have some line difference. You'll go from medium to kind of extra fine or an extra fine, and it can be written in the other side. Why? Maybe just to put some notes between lines if you are correcting a text, for example, but not completely sure. Now let's go for a writing sample for you to check how the pen works. And let's see. Okay, this is my early handwriting. I'm not trying to improve it. I can do it a little better when I want some people to understand what I'm writing, but this is how I usually write, and I usually, not always, can understand it. And I try to do this because this is my natural writing way, and this is really possible to do. This medium nib is on the finer side, so it's quite good for my smaller handwriting. It's not kind of a pelican medium, which is much broader. It's quite good, I would say. I like the nib. I like the way I can not hear, but feel some feedback on paper, and that pleases me. And I really think this pen can keep up when I'm writing faster or slower. When I'm trying to write for people to understand, I'm not saying that I don't care about the viewer of these videos, but actually this is just a writing sample. This is a paragraph from my favorite book, so it is in Portuguese. Most of you will not understand it anyway. It's just a way to write something besides the quick brown fox. So this is all I had to show you today. I have to thank you, Benu, for sending me this amazing pen for review. This pen is not for everyone, but I'm sure there will be people that, oops, it runs that way. I'm sure there will be people that will be crazy about the pen, and I hope this is interesting. By the way, the pen rolls, as you saw, but when you put it like this flower ring acts a little bit as a roll stopper because it has no clip. But if you put it on paper like this, it will roll freely. If you put it down kept, it won't because of this flowery ring. So this is all for today. Thank you again for watching. Thank you again, Benu, for sending this pen, and I hope to meet you here soon again on my channel. Bye.